Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Now, Comrade Tsar has left his hidey-hole to appear before a pack of Western journalists. When he does that, he typically provides a lot of content for us here at Break the Fake. The man is remarkable. He's never once in a lifetime uttered a word of truth. And asked by a member of the press about whether Russia could attack NATO, he called him stupid like this table.
Не надо ничего придумывать и на этих придумках, формировать мнение о России. Не надо формировать образ врага из России. Вы сами себе только вредите этим, понимаете? Вот напридумывали, что Россия хочет напасть на НАТО. Вы сбрендили совсем, что ли? Тупые вообще, как этот стол. Кто это придумал? Это чушь, понимаете? Бред собачий. Но это было бы бредом, да? Если бы не было задумкой для того, чтобы одурачивать свое собственное население. Говорит, караул, скоро Россия на нас нападет, и мы должны срочно вооружаться, срочно направлять вооружение на Украину. А на самом деле для чего это делать? Чтобы удержать свое собственное имперское положение и величие. Вот для чего это делается. Вот для чего эти угрозы и пугалки для бюргеров в Германии, во Франции и в других частях Европы. Вот для чего. Такой угрозы не существует и быть не может. Мы сами себя защищаем на Украине. Вот где Соединенные Штаты через океан, и где мы. Вот представьте, мы бы сейчас в Канаде творили то, что делают Соединенные Штаты у нас на нашем пороге здесь, в России, в Украине. Или в Мексике. Или бы мы сейчас сказали, что Соединенные Штаты отторгли часть территории Мексики в свое время. И побуждали бы Мексику бороться за возвращение своих территорий. В принципе, это примерно то же самое, что делают западные страны в отношении кризиса, российско-украинского кризиса. Вот об этом вы не хотели подумать когда-нибудь?
So if the journalists asking questions are dumb as a table, where does that leave Vladimir Putin? But buried even deeper than his intellect are his morality and credibility. They're so far down there that no one's been able to find them yet. To better illustrate the value of Putin's reassurance about Russia's peaceful ways, let's hear him talk about the attack on Ukraine.
Все считают, что Россия начала войну на Украине. Но никто, я хочу это подчеркнуть, никто на Западе, в Европе не хочет вспоминать, с чего началась эта трагедия. Она началась с государственного переворота на Украине. Антиконституционного государственного переворота. Вот начало войны.
The man said that Russia didn't start the war without so much as blinking to a room full of journalists from agencies that cover the invasion minute by minute, who refused to take responsibility for invading a neighboring country and blame Ukraine itself for the tragedy. No one in the West and Europe wants to remember where this tragedy began, Putin said, adding that it began with the unconstitutional coup in Kyiv. The declaration only needed a thunderclap for added effect, but luckily the Almighty once again proved himself restrained. For those of you who don't know or might have forgotten, this allegedly unconstitutional coup did not happen in Moscow. It happened in a sovereign country neighboring Russia. So if Putin didn't attack Ukraine, who did? Well, according to old Vlad here, it attacked itself, and Russia was forced to intervene to help. Complicated? Nah, the Russians think that this whole story is very clear. Okay, so with that out of the way, now let's have a listen to what he had to say about another neighbor and NATO member, namely Poland. Now, this is archival footage filmed a year before, but we don't really think anything has changed since then. To be honest, we think the situation has even deteriorated a little bit, but we'll circle back to that later.
Западные территории нынешней Польши – это подарок Сталина полякам. Наши друзья в Варшаве подзабыли об этом. Мы напомним.
To clear up all the nonsense we've just heard, we would have to spend untold hours, force people to sit through endless footage, so let's try something shorter. According to Russian propaganda, Crimea was nothing than a gift from Khrushchev, Ukraine itself was a gift from Stalin, and Poland too. What Putin failed to mention, however, that in return for that stretch of land in the west, Stalin took 2/3 of its pre-war territory. Putin also conveniently forgot the million of Poles forcibly resettled to the land so generously gifted to Poland. He forgot to mention the ethnic cleansing pursued so vigorously by the Soviets across the whole of Central Europe, the millions of women raped in the wake of the Red Army's march, and the hundreds of thousands dead due to starvation, illness, and inhuman conditions. This is what Putin's gift to Poland actually looked like. And now Putin seems to be preparing another gift for Poland. After all he wants in life is to follow Stalin's footsteps. What is this new gift? An open border on the eastern flank, and thousands of people shipped here from all over the Middle East. And the sinister gift has already yielded its first victims. One soldier stabbed, another struck with a heavy blunt object. Both were hospitalized with serious injuries. That's not all the gifts that Vlad has in store. According to Poland's foreign minister, Rhetoric, a large, well-organized group of thugs trained to attack Polish soldiers and law enforcement are reportedly heading for the border. The official also added that this is the first time the administration is seeing almost 100% of the people trying to cross into Poland illegally actually holding Russian visas. These people are really brought to Russia solely for the purpose of probing the Polish border as part of Moscow's hybrid offensive. To paraphrase a famous quote, beware Russians bearing gifts and stay vigilant whenever Putin talks about peace. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has arrived in the Republic of Chad on his first ever visit. Reports are saying that the head of Russian diplomacy is planning negotiations with the leadership of the African Republic. Chad is the final destination of Lavrov's African tour, which has already taken him to Guinea, Congo, and Burkina Faso. Lavrov is already saying that the number of Russian military instructors in the country will be rising, but did not disclose any exact numbers of Russians already on the soil of Moscow's ally in Africa. Now, all of this looked like Russia's trying really hard to show the rest of the world that it still has allies around the globe. And as Lavrov touts the skill of the Russian instructors, let's all conveniently forget that the Grand Russian Army is still trying to capture the small Ukrainian city of Vovchansk near the Kharkiv region. But who'd care about the details? Maybe the Russians just wanted to feel love for once. Just take a look at how the people of Chad greeted Lavrov. So we hope that sooner or later the people of Africa will realize what kind of friend Russia really is. And the sooner that moment comes, the better for them, because remember, you can't expect nothing from a terrorist state. Recently, the Ukrainian Center for Countering Disinformation has said that Russian propaganda might soon be leaning into new fake narratives about violent mobilization in Ukraine and ramping up their intensity. The center also posted a video breaking some Russian propaganda fakes.
Прогнозується, що РФ буде розширювати масштаби ІПСО «Насильницька мобілізація». Очікується продовження дезінформаційної кампанії щодо буцімто відправки на фронт непідготовлених військових, а також дискредитації процесу оновлення українцями даних у ТЦК та СП. Прогнозується збільшення наративів, які мають на меті дискредитацію українського військового керівництва. Ворог ширитиме повідомлення щодо нібито великої кількості дезертирів через вбивчі накази командування. Також у рамках цієї кампанії Москва просуватиме наративи, що чоловіки, які тікають від мобілізації за кордон, виживуть, на відміну від тих, хто пішов воювати на фронт. Ймовірно, що розпропаганда приділятиме значну увагу темі збільшення тарифів та курсу валют по відношенню до гривні в Україні, пророкуючи українцям тотальну бідність. Також ворожі медіа просуватимуть наратив, що президент Володимир Зеленський нібито хоче продовження війни і стягує гроші з населення.
Now, the Center for Countering Disinformation was established as an extension of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine in March of 2021. The center implements measures to counteract current and projected threats to Ukraine's national security and national interest in the information sphere, ensuring Ukraine's information security, identifies and counteracts disinformation, effectively counters propaganda, destructive information campaigns, and prevents attempts to manipulate public opinion. What can we say? Well done. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.